Good morning and welcome to Rio Grande Valley Radio's community service program here. We're having an interview today with school board candidate Adam Paz. Good morning, Adam.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to the studio. So, Adam, you're running for school board. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name's Adam Stephen Paz. I was born and raised here in Socorro. I attended schooling all the way from Head Start all the way up to graduating high school. I took some college classes. Wasn't for me. Just kind of fell into the trades, workforce, construction, carpentry, heavy equipment operation. Met my wife in high school.
Michelle?
Yes, Michelle.
She's busy running our video board over there. Thank you, Michelle.
We've been together 28 years, 25 years married this coming May. We have 4 kids. 2 have graduated from Socorro High School. I have a sophomore and a freshman right now in high school. I have some grandkids that are up and coming. They'll be attending. I've had a bumpy road. It hasn't been easy, and when I was in high school, I had teachers that stuck by me regardless of how much of a pain I was. They stuck by me.
Yeah.
They didn't toss me aside. And one principal in particular, when I walked the line, when I graduated, he pulled me in, he gave me a hug, gave me a handshake, and told me that he knew I could do it. And even after high school, with that being said, I still had ups and downs, of course, but I pulled through. With that always in the back of my mind, with that principal and a few other teachers always having my back and not just casting me aside, and my wife and her family and my family coming in and just always having my back through my ups and downs. It helped me to where I am now. I'm a small business owner in Socorro.
What's your small business?
Yeah, I own that barbershop. I'm a master barber at that barbershop, and me and the other barber, Anthony Lopez, we do our best to give back to the community, because this community is shrinking every time you bat your eye.
Right.
So it's just, I will always be involved in this community, regardless of the outcome of this election. I will always be involved.
Yeah.
So
that's great. So you've got a lot of experience. Did you feel like high school prepared you for work since you decided not to go to college?
You know what? I would say yes.
Okay.
I would say yes. It did. Back in the day, we did have ag, wood shop. There was a lot that helped, I guess, kind of guide me into my career for 15, 16 years.
Yeah.
Barbering I've only been doing for, with the license for 3 years now, a little over 3 years.
Okay.
And I enjoy it. But
fantastic. So you got a lot of real world experience local to Socorro. You know a lot about the community,
yes,
sounds
sir.
like.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what was your motivation for running for school board?
As I said, things in Socorro they're disappearing as we bat our eye. Every blink of the eye, things disappear in Socorro. There's a lot of opportunity that has left the schools that does not give each kid an opportunity to decide what they want to do. I think it's focused on your percentage of your kids that are your A+ student, your B student, and this, even when I was a student, this was happening. The kids that are C students, D students,
right,
they fall through the cracks. Programs that are brought in are never meant wholeheartedly to affect every student. The student has to match the program, not the program match the students. So with that being said, some students can't benefit from programs that they bring in. And I think that adds to the parents' frustration, the students' frustration, because a lot of these students that we deem a menace, or we say it's always the same student, they're lashing out for a reason sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They want help.
Right.
They want direction. Sometimes they're not getting it at home. They spend the majority of time at school.
Right. So your statement there, most of your a lot of your motivation, those C and D students, and you said a really good statement. The program is What did you say about the program match for the student, not the student match for the program?
Yes, when they bring in programs, usually it's a certain upbringing of a student that has to match the program,
Okay.
and not the program match every upbringing of the student body. So I think that's where we fail them, all our students. Some they benefit, a lot don't. And I'm speaking from experience as a student, as a parent of students. I've seen it, I've been through it, and it exists.
So kind of like that principal that got your back, your motivation is to kind of get the back of some of those students that the programs don't match. And
Yes, sir.
I think Martin Luther King had a good saying one time. He said, at the base of any riot is an unheard voice.
Yes. Yes.
So I think, okay, so that's your motivation, is you've got those C and D students that you're really interested in and trying to make programs that are more suited to the kids themselves than the other way, and a larger group of kids.
Well, bringing in programs, policies that support across the board for every student that's involved with our district.
Okay.
And continuing to back the programs that they do have for our A students, our B students. 'Cause we just can't just flip the script and go to a whole different. We have to continue with every student, the A, the B, the C, and the D. We have to continue. We have to spread it across the board. We need to gain their attention. Coming out of junior high, we have to let them know that there are things in high school that I want to attend high school.
Right.
I want to get to high school. There are some programs there that, I might not be able to be, you had mentioned it, an NRAO scientist or New Mexico Tech scientist, but there's always a need for a custodian. There's always, from custodian all the way up to the scientist, there's in between, and someone has to do it. And you know what? There's no shame in any part of that whatsoever.
Pride in your work.
Yes. And so we gotta broaden that aspect of our education in the schools right now, because it is missing a whole lot.
So part of that motivation is to broaden the program's approach to serve more students, those C and Ds we'll call it, take more focus and be like that principal and have their back.
Yes.
Now, before we started this interview, you talked a little bit as a parent about some of the things that that learning the process, and would you do is part of your motivation also to try to improve the community access and understanding of the process with the board? You mentioned having some issues with raising complaints and how difficult that was. Okay, so part of the program is to take care of the C and D students. That's part of your motivation. What are you going to do in relationship to what's your motivation for the community as a whole, for parents? And
I think first off, all policies we need to follow all the policies, as they pertain to every single upbringing around this demographic. We have to involve everybody, and that's as simple as at a school board meeting. Make sure when you see new faces in the crowd, make sure they know where there's an agenda, what's going to be talked about. Make sure they know that in order to be heard, they have to fill out a written request to be heard. If not, you won't be heard.
right.
Okay, you have to fill out a written request. When you're filing a complaint, when you call down, and instead of letting, 'cause I was one of them, parents be belligerent on going crazy because they can't figure out a real issue on how to fix things. And that's all we want to do is fix things.
Right.
We want things, to be better for every single kid, every single teacher, every single custodian, bus driver. We want everything to be
And better.
yes, easy,
Okay.
We want everything to coexist. So make sure you let people know, that in order to file a complaint, in order to be heard, you have to file a written formal complaint. And let everybody involved know the proper steps. No more, it's easier not to
Educate them.
educate people
Right.
on what the proper
Push it away.
Yes, yeah. It's easier and I think we need to let everybody know, let everybody be involved that needs to be involved. Everybody's input. We're only going to grow. We're stagnant right now, and we're only going to grow if we truly address every problem, all the demographics of this community.
Okay, so let's let's segue then into that. So there's your motivation. There's some of your motivation. Get the C&D students, incorporate more people into school, get more harmony between everybody doing well, everybody doing better, and help parents also understand how to be part of that process.
Yes, sir.
So what is some of your visions? What are some of the things that, if you were elected tomorrow, what are some of your visions for the near term, what we could do today, what we could do tomorrow? How is your vision going to shape the Socorro School Board if you're elected?
Policies are sent down from PEC, PED, on the state level. But we also have the opportunity to do a local policy that fit the demographics of this community. Wages. Like I said, a lot of these kids coming out of high school right now have a hard time. The entry exams to New Mexico Tech, they have a hard time.
Entrance exams, okay.
Yes. So, not everybody can pass those exams, attend Tech, and take that education that much further. So with that being said, we need local policies that will bring new electives to our district, to our schools. Heavy equipment, basic of carpentry, welding, which I know we do have some of those, but we really need to broaden everything about those. We need to bring them in. We need to, nowadays, working up in New Mexico Tech, Emmer-Tech, I work closely with a lot of student engineers. And they put all this time in for whatever they were, completing that school for. Chemical engineering, mechanical, electrical, whatever. And I know a few of them that right now in Albuquerque, they're working at bike shops. Yeah. And they were good students. They were doing their job out there. They gave us a hand every time they could. They wanted to know the ins and outs of the whole. So a lot of these kids are actually going back and going into trades. So we need to broaden that. We need to do local policies that will help look in, go that extra mile, go that extra step to making sure that we have things set in place here in Socorro District that will allow every single kid to have a goal.
Right, and to thrive.
Yes, and to thrive.
Right. So in summarizing it, so your motivation is to include more people, be more inclusive of the students, programs that match a wider range of students in here, open some of it to parents, to engage them in the process. And some of your vision, again, it goes back to your motivation. It's really to expand the number of electives that are offered at Socorro High School, more trades, more occupations. As a community member, you recognize some students that went to New Mexico Tech and wound up in trades. So there's an unfilled need in trades where people are finding good employment. And we could do more to address that here in Socorro, whether it's heavy equipment, carpentry, and things. So your motivation, as I understand it, is to support a broader base of the students in Socorro for a better quality of life and help them thrive. And one of your visions for accomplishing that, if I understand you, is to try to create local policies that add more electives, more effective electives to the school so that kids have more opportunities getting out. For those who, like you said, can't make New Mexico Tech. Would I capture that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost as simple as like, if we can become the leading district, the leading county in New Mexico, that, our kids are excelling in heavy equipment or, carpentry, construction, welding, maybe we can actually bring in new businesses into Socorro. If they see that we're booming with students that are competent and can do their job the best they can, what they're looking for, what this company is looking for, maybe they'll come into Socorro and it'll make everything better as a whole.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're getting ready to close here. Let me get a final statement for you, the last statement to the audience before we sign off today.
Well, if elected, I will fight for everybody across the board. No one will be left out. No favoritism. My heart will be with the kids, the teachers, custodians, bus drivers, all the way across the board. Collective bargaining for everybody involved. I mean, we got to do something. We got to make things better for everybody, not just students, which they are our number one, but everyone across the board. It has to be better. Because if it's not better for everyone across the board, it's not going to be better for our students. So a happy teacher will be a knowledgeable student.
All right, Adam.
So,
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for coming in today, folks. This is Adam Paz. He's running for election for school board position number 2. And remember, Adam Paz will be at the school board forum this coming October 24th. That's next Thursday. It starts at 5:30 p.m. and for a meet and greet from 5:30 to 6, and then at 6 o'clock we actually start the forum. There's 9 candidates running for school board here in Socorro, and there's 3 positions open. Adam is running for position number 2. I want to thank Adam again for coming into the studio.
I want to thank you for having me here.
And Michelle, take us off.